So I have been given quite a few donations of late, and this channel doesn't really get donations. I'm not a huge channel, and I don't really ask for donations because I've got a lot of stuff here already, and I'm already got, 2-3 years backlog of stuff. But people do like to give me things from time to time, and I've had quite a few donations that have built up over the past 12 months. And next month, I'm hoping to do a donations sort of like mail call video to show you all the things I've been given. One of the things I was given, it was 3 items I was given by someone very recently, literally a few days ago. And it was someone who randomly texted me on my private number on my mobile saying, "Oh, hi Tom, how are you? I really, really like the YouTube channel." And I got to be honest with you, this freaked me out because I had no idea who it was at the time. And I'm thinking, how on earth has somebody got my private phone number? Anyway, cut a long story short, it turned out it was an old acquaintance from about 10 years ago from my amateur radio club here in central Shropshire. And I hadn't seen him in over a decade, and he still had my number. But I didn't know it was him, if that makes sense. Anyway, he said he'd seen me here and he wanted to give me some stuff, some sort of modern stuff that still has some value. I'm not going to spoil what he gave me because I want to show you it in the video, but when he listed what he wanted to donate to the channel, I literally was shocked to the point of saying, "Are you absolutely sure you want to give me this stuff?" Because it does have a fair bit of monetary value, and it wasn't that old. But he was like, "No." I said to him, "Look, you could put this on eBay and you could make a decent bit of revenue from it." And he was like, "No, I want to give it to you to show on the channel." And it was just astonishingly generous. So I do need to do him fair credit. I'm going to say, if he's watching, by the way, hi Oliver. Thanks so much for the donations, by the way. And we're going to look at those on the channel because some of the stuff is really, really cool. And it's not the kind of stuff I would have probably gone and bought myself. So I'll show you that. We've got some robots. Yep, I got some robots, which I'm going to show you as well. We have never done robots on the channel, but I've been given robots. So I'll be showing you robots. A few other things as well, actually. So also we've got one of the boards from... Actually, I've got it. Hang on. I might... Spoilers. Have I got it with me? Is it in the drawer? Yes, it is. Here it is. This was planned. You can tell that. Right. Spoilers. I have been given this, which I will show. There we are. And... wrong way around. There we go. This is the AlphaWorks board. This has come from Australia. This is from my friend and colleague Scott in Australia, who I mentioned earlier, who is developing a commercial kit version of the Tiny Basic product. And this is his board, or generation 1 of his board. And he very kindly sent me one all the way from Australia. I sent him one of my PCBs, which are the little ones stuck up here. I sent those to him in return, and he also sent me his version of the manual, Alpha Basic Plus manual. He's done a full, really nice printed basic manual for his build of the system. It's really, really nice, actually. So I will be showing you that in more detail as part of the sort of donations that I've had coming in the channel. We're going to do a mail call video in the new year. What else we've got to do? I've got to catch up with some video game stuff as well, because I was going to do video game stuff over Christmas and we got bogged down with Advent. By the way, no one has commented on how they found Advent yet, other than those of you that did comment during the daily videos. That was a project and a half to do. Spoilers on that. I did them in blocks of 3 or 4, so I wasn't actually doing one every morning because that would have killed me. And some of those projects were naff, but I actually shot them like 3 or 4 at a time and then uploaded them a couple of days ahead of time and then just set them to publish on 1 minute past midnight on the morning of. And that's why you got a video every day. And it's a good job I did that, because of being as unwell as I was over Christmas. I would not have got through had we done that kind of in real time. So that was that. But it did mean that I did push back on some other stuff. And I wanted to do a video on the NES again. The original Nintendo Entertainment System, which I did 2020. I think, was when I bought it. I bought it during lockdown because I was bored. And I did it as a lockdown project, if you remember. And I wanted to revisit that because I've bought a few more bits for it since then. And there's a few things I want to look at it and readdress. A couple more modifications, things I want to do. And I was going to do it as part of Christmas, and we just didn't get around to doing it, unfortunately. So whether I do that next month or February, I don't know, but I hope to get back to that soon. Also, if you joined me for Cambridge, if you came down to the Retro Computer Festival, you may have seen the PlayStation 2 I had running. And I actually have a PS2 with a very easy HD upgrade for the back of it that you just plug into the video slot in the back, and it gives you a HDMI out. And it actually, the picture is really, really good. It's surprising how it looks as good as PC. And I was running that at the show, which means you can take a 2001 PlayStation 2 and you can plug it straight into native HDMI, and you get a HDMI upscale picture that actually looks of really good quality. So that was something I wanted to cover. It's also possible with the PlayStation 2 architecture. You can actually run a version of Linux. And I was going to see about trying to make a boot disk to see if we could trick a game console, PlayStation game console, into actually booting Linux, which would be quite cool. So these are a few things I wanted to do. I've also been collecting PlayStation mice. So not many people know that you can actually, they did a PlayStation mouse for the PS1. And you could plug certain USB USB PC mice. You could actually plug into a PlayStation 2, and you could actually use some games as a bit like a PC, click and play type thing, as opposed to using the game controllers. And this is all stuff I had planned. I've even collected some games. The very few PlayStation games that actually use mice systems or can be played with the mouse. And it was all planned to do. And have I recorded any of it? No, because we got completely sidetracked with all the other work that I had to do. Oh, Gertmon is on. Hello, this is someone who was commenting and following the adverts. Happy New Year, Tom, to yourself and all your viewers. Thank you very much. From a very snowy Scotland. You did well keeping the advent vids going. Thank you. Yes. I think I went a bit strange in the end. You could tell by the end of it, I'd slightly lost the plot, especially when we were doing gambling. I hate gambling. It's not that I hate it in the sense that I have a problem with it. It's just it confuses me, and I just don't have the interest. So, and it was just gambling game after gambling game, and then it was gambling game in binary or hex. And I was like, I just don't want to be doing this at, whatever time in the morning was when I was recording those, especially as I was doing one after another. So, yeah, those were tough ones to do. But some of the other stuff I actually really liked. And as I hinted in the very last, did you watch the last video on the 24th, which was Christmas Eve? I said that I thought we might be able to take the Advent board that we did and actually rebuild it into something that kind of preserves some of the games, because some of the stuff was quite fun. And I think I might do that as a Christmas project next year, because it's not high on my list of priorities at the moment, because I've got a lot of other stuff. Yeah, so that's just like, tip of the iceberg of projects I wanted to do. I was going to do some stuff with 3D printing, got a 3D printer here. And we're going to do some 3D printing stuff, and I've never really got around to it. I've hinted at 3D printing, and I've shown you little bits here and there when we needed it for projects. But I've never actually got around to getting that sorted out. What else are we going to have to do? Oh, yeah. We're going to revisit the C64 on microcontroller project. You might remember that I tried a project in which you could upload and run a C64 basic kernel on Arduino Nano on the Atmega 328P. And you might remember we kind of got it working, but it was awful. It was absolutely awful, to the point that it wasn't worth doing. And I said at the time that I felt if we used a bigger, better, more powerful microcontroller and perhaps some slightly better code, we could revisit this. And somebody sent me something in the post, first class. that got lost, and first class mail in the UK should not take a month to get here, even with postal strikes. I sent stuff to the US in less time. Never mind, it's here. They sent me something that means I might be able to do another Commodore based project. So that's actually going to be another one. I'll show you what was sent to me when we do this mail call video. But that's, again, that was a really generous. It was somebody on, who was it? It was, I forgot the name now. That's terrible. I will catch up with them and I will credit them properly when I do the video. But it was Instagram, and they posted on Instagram, and I just said, "Oh, that's great." And then they said to me, "Would you like one?" I was like, "You what?" I said, "No, I'll send you." They did it was a PCB that they'd done, and they said, "I'll send you one." And they sent me one, and it's like amazingly generous of them to have done it. So that's going to be a fantastic thing for what I need to do for this sort of Commodore project, which I do want to get done this side of the new year. And Getmon is back with the C64 seems to be emulated on the PK. Yes, I looked at that and was a little bit surprised at, I don't know maybe if it's the same code, but it seems still quite limited of what it would do. So we might not be doing C64, we might do VIC-20. I'm giving too much hints away about what I'm going to do, but I've got this code, again written in C, in the Arduino IDE, for a very capable VIC-20 emulation. And it actually seems to run software you can actually load off SD card and all sorts. It's actually really quite cool. So I want to build a rig, basically, almost like a tiny basic computer type thing, powered by ESP32, that we can actually run as a full glorified and full rammed VIC-20 system. So we can run it with all the accelerators and things emulated, and run it as an emulated 6502, although it will actually be ESP32 architecture. So that's going to be a really cool project, and I really want to get that done, and we'll see how well it goes. But again, people donating bits to me has made that so much easier to do. Lots coming up here on the channel, lots to plan. I really hope this year I want to try and get through some of the projects that I've been putting off for like 24 months plus. There's so much stuff we could be doing and talking about. I'd even had plans for launching a second channel, actually, to kind of cover some of the stuff that isn't quite in the scope of computing, but kind of skirts around the idea of electronics and things like the model trains, model making, that kind of thing, 3D printing. Do I put it on the main channel? Do I put it on the second channel? I haven't actually like fully decided yet what I wanted to do. But I know that as I've learned with things like the farm sim stuff I showed you for Christmas, if you skirt too far away from the norm of what people subscribe to here on Wi-Fi Sheep, if you go too far off that, then you can have videos that don't kind of do that well. And the farm sim one was, yeah, I mean, it's like gaming. We don't really do gaming here on the channel because I don't have time to play games. And I used to do a live stream over on Twitch. I used to do a Wi-Fi Sheep live stream 8 till 8, where I used to just do like video games. But I don't play games that well, and the sort of games I'm interested in are things like Farm Simulator, and you know, it's not the kind of Call of Duties or the Fortnites or what everyone else is playing, so it's never very popular streams. And I didn't want to bring gaming too much over here unless there was a technical element to it. So things like emulation and repairing of game consoles and stuff like that is relevant to the channel because it's computing, it's electronics. But sitting there live streaming video gaming is a bit dull. So it's not something I wanted to kind of get into. Not really being a traditional gamer as such. Plus the fact, I mean, I know there's people my age that do it, but I'm a little bit old, so, you know, in my mind, there's better things to be doing with the time, and there's so much to be getting on with.